Greetings guys and girls. So today I'm out in nature and I have an interesting video for you all today. Today we are talking about conscious parenting and a couple things that I do that the average parent does not do. As a parent, we should want to improve our child and give them the things that we did not have. Therefore, they can go further, and when they have children, they can even pass on further knowledge and wisdom that we never had. You know, I want my son to be better than me. So with this video, I'm going to be passing down the knowledge that I have so far that I'm applying to the son I'm raising. And I know this may come to a lot of you by shock depending on what platform you watch me on, because I've never talked about my kid. But yes, I do have a son. He's 1 year old, and let's start the video now. So the first thing I do with my child that the average parent probably doesn't. So when he was born, literally like the day we got out of the hospital, I took him outside. And a lot of people advise against that. They say no, because there's too many viruses and pathogens and, you know, things that can get them sick that are outside. Personally, I do not believe that. And the reason I believe this is because naturally everything is born outside. The whole reason we are born inside hospitals is because man made that. And I'm not against everything man made, but our bodies were literally designed to be outside. There are probably just as many pathogens and viruses in your house if you think about it. Go to your fridge, your bathroom, dusty surfaces. Your child can get sick inside or outside. To be honest, I think you're doing more harm to your child if you wait to take them outside, because they will not, for one, if you live somewhere hot, they will not be fully adapted to the sun. And we're going to talk about the sun too. But two, like I said, there is some truth that there are viruses and pathogens outside. But by not taking your child outside and only keeping them inside, guess what? They will never build that immunity until you actually take them outside. So that's my first point. Take your newborns outside. Don't overdo it, but I found no issue. The second thing I do different with my child that the average parent does not do, I let my child get sunlight early in his life. And not sunlight to the point to where his skin would dry out, but you know, brief periods, preferably when the sun comes up or when it's setting, when the sun isn't too intense. You can let them sit in the sunlight. You can see if they get too hot. Before they even get to that point, you remove them from sunlight. But sunlight is good. It's vitamin D. Vitamin D is the only vitamin that you cannot go toxic on. So you are missing out if you do not have your child in sunlight. I think my son was maybe 2 weeks old. I had him no diaper, no nothing, just on a comfortable blanket, laid out in the sun. Of course, the temperature was never too hot. And you have to use, you know, moderation. Everybody's child is different. My son has melanin. He doesn't have a lot, but he has melanin. And with that, he can absorb a little more sunlight than the average person. So make sure, you know, with him being a boy too, that's why I let him go out naked, because he can get all the sun on his, you know, his little man part or his little baby part, and that's good for them. You should go outside if you can. As adults, we should go outside naked, and I made a video about this. Even women and men, you know, breast cancer is very high in certain populations of people. That's because you never get light there. The sun has vitamin D and other nutritional benefits that can prevent cancer. So same with prostate cancer. That's why you should be outside naked. And that's just one of the little things I did for my son. I had him out there early, get in the sun. The third thing I do as a parent that the average parent does not do, and this one may be a little controversial, but it worked, and I have the proof that it worked firsthand because I did it. Herbs. Giving your babies herbs. And this one you have to be very careful with. Honestly, if you don't know what you're doing, I do not advise this one, but this is something that I've done one time, and this has really been the only time he's ever been sick. He was about maybe 4 months, and he got this really bad congestion. He had mucus. He could barely breathe. I don't know if he had pneumonia or the other sickness that rhymes with Jovid, but whatever it was, he was really sick. And we tried giving him a steam bath to maybe, you know, break up some of that mucus that was in his chest. That would not do anything. I looked at some over-the-counter remedies. That did not work. So I went and used my herbal knowledge, put together a concoction, mixed a little bit in his bottle, gave it to him, and he was healed completely well the next day. He had no congestion, no mucus. He could breathe. Excellent. Now, I will not tell you what concoction this is because I don't want to be held liable if your child has an allergic reaction, but that is an option. You do not have to give them medicine, or at least the medicine that we're used to taking, because once again, most of these medicines are already based off of plants. They just add other additives to the medicine. So that is one. Give your children herbs. Like I said, I don't recommend, unless you know your child and you have the proper research and knowledge. I'm a little shaky for new parents on that one. To each their own. The next thing I do that the average parent does not do. My son never had sugar until recently, and that's just because his grandparents, one, you know, they'll give him a bite of ice cream sandwich or something. And his birthday just passed. We got him a smash cake, you know, but up until that point, he really had never had processed sugar. Like, we started out feeding him fruits and vegetables. We introduced him to meat later on, but even now he still primarily eats fruits and vegetables, a little bit of meat here and there, almost zero sugar, or at least as low as we can keep his sugar intake, because sugar has a lot of effects on the body, and I'm not going to go into that in this video, but that's one thing. And I'm going to stop the video here. This is the last thing I do that the average parent does not do for their child. So I'm a firm believer of not giving your children too many options at one time. Meaning, for example, my son has a bunch of toys, but we only allow him to play with 3 to 5 at a time. With that being said, every time he did something good, we'd go in the garage and bring him one of his new toys from his birthday. Matter of fact, I'm still opening toys from his birthday because we did not give him all his toys at one time. Because if you do that, the reason I don't do that is because you make them indecisive, for one, and they have a hard time making up their mind because they have all these brand new toys and they don't know what to play with. So imagine what you're doing for them long term when they have options on the table. They won't be able to make a decision. So with that being said, we slowly introduce new toys to him with good behavior, and over time he learns which toys he really likes and which ones he doesn't. Now, I have a lot of other things that I do that the typical parent doesn't do, a lot of very helpful information. So if you found this video helpful, show some support in the comments, like, share, subscribe, and until next time, peace.